Hi, I'm Martin McLavin. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I have asked my employee to roast me with 5 things he hates about me. We've had this meeting and now you will see the recording of that, as well as the discussion we have had about those points and how we have worked it out, as well as some actionable advice that you can take away for your own company or entertainment. And by the way, Gedi has been working in the company for quite some years already. He's a good guy. The company is game ready. This is world's biggest game development school in Unreal Engine. Please enjoy. Gedi, thank you for coming to my virtual office today with a list of 5 things that you want to roast me with. Is that correct?
Yeah, more or less. That's true.
More or less. I guess more.
5 things that I don't like. Yeah, 5 things that I kind of don't like about you in work environment.
Okay, it's gonna be fun. Happy roasting to me.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start then. What's the first one?
Alright. Let's start from maybe less severe. A couple points. Also, okay, first of all, you know how I'm not sure if you notice these days, but sometimes, some days you just flood me with the freaking tasks all at once, like 20 tasks in one day. It usually happens over the weekend. Like I wake up Monday and I freaking open the WhatsApp and it's freaking 20 messages that I need to read. It's sometimes really I can say that I fucking want to block you or report you for spam or something. I don't know.
Report me to authorities for abuse.
Yeah, report you for fucking spam, like ban you from WhatsApp so you cannot message me or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it's just annoying because I cannot predict when that's gonna happen because it's random. Like most days it's fine. I get like from you sometimes no messages actually, sometimes it's like 1, 2, like do something short, and then I get the flood of messages and it shocks me a little bit and it's just annoying, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Unpredictable.
you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So let me comment on this.
Why are you pointing a middle finger?
That's a microphone.
Yeah, sure.
That's a microphone. I don't know what you're thinking about. That's microphone. No, anyway. So look. First of all, thank you for telling me that. I can't say that I'm surprised. Because, I mean, you already told me that in one way or another, even multiple times, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a valid one. I can totally understand that. And I can relate that sometimes it also happens to me. Like I can wake up and just see tons of messages from 10 people, you know, wanting something from me. So I'm there as well. How it happens, I don't want to justify myself so much, just to share why it happens is, funnily enough, at the weekends, when the communication is naturally lower, and I have some quiet time, because I have that quiet time, I can actually focus and go through my email inbox and see some stuff that I need to address. Or I start to work on a project which requires high focus, which I cannot afford myself so much throughout the work week. I mean, I can. It's just I do it in a lower degree, I would say, lower density. So at the weekend, I have a high density of maker time, so I can just focus on making some project out, and I'm planning and outlining things. And because of that, I'm suddenly like, oh, I need this thing from him, and this thing from him, and this thing from her, and this. So I'm just naturally like, okay, so we have a plan. That's a project. We have a new plan. We need to distribute the workforce. So I'm just like, okay, I need this and this and this and this and that. Okay, that's what usually happens in the quiet days.
Yeah, have you thought about, I don't know, having weekend, or resting, not working,
I thought about that.
and like a normal person,
I thought about that.
Just,
I thought about that. But that's not the period for it for me right now. Need to be binging out some creation. Okay.
I think I've been hearing that for like last 3 years or so. The same sentence about weekends.
Life?
When is it not going to be the period after you die or what?
After the results are achieved, but that's a topic for another video. but yeah, I will keep doing that until the goals are achieved. I mean, we have a lot to grow towards, a lot to grow on. So we have so many initiatives in the company and so many things we can implement and stuff that are pending that I don't want to lose momentum. I want to move forward with it as efficiently as possible. And also, to be honest, I just I get used to that. So it's not painful.
Yeah. That's the problem. You got used to it. You're not gonna change.
I will. I will.
Don't you get exhausted after a full week of work? Like you don't have an off day.
I am often exhausted. I am,
Yeah.
but for some aspects, it's just irrelevant if I'm exhausted or not. It just there's things that need to be done, and I need to be doing them. So, and yes, there are some optional things that I might choose not to do. I can postpone it, nothing bad will happen, but I still want to create the progress, okay? And to create the progress, I just need to work a lot, So, will it change someday? Yeah, sure, for sure. I'm not a workaholic. That's the point. I'm not a workaholic. There are some people who really love working all the time. They really love it and enjoy it. Sure, cool, great for them. I wish I could
work 7 days a week.
I do what I need to do. It's not that I like it more than, let's say, watching series or playing games or guitar, whatever. No. There are things that I like much more than work. Traveling, sure, a lot of things. But I just need to be doing that. So. But interesting, sure. we kind of got off the course, so we... You're interviewing me!
That's the point. I need to, give you questions. Anyway, next step.
Sure, let's go.
Next step, which actually synergizes with the one that I just mentioned, about surprise 20 tasks, is that when I am actually treating those tasks, which is most often WhatsApp messages that I need to reply to you, like 20 WhatsApp messages. You have this freaking annoying feature about you. You start replying to the messages while I am responding to them. Like, if I reply to 2 messages out of 20, you start replying to those 2 messages. So it gets messy. Which ones I replied to, which ones I didn't reply to. It's just annoying as fuck, man.
Yeah, I get you. What can I do to improve? Should I wait for you to finish all the wall of text?
Yeah, you can shut up and let me finish.
Yeah, I can do that. I will.
Especially since I am the one that's supposed to actually ensure that all topics are responded to, Like, I am the manager of the chat most of the time.
Yeah.
Because you're the boss and I am the employee. To save your time, So, yeah, you kind of jeopardizing my work sometimes like that.
You do know that I hate when people call me boss, right? You do know that. You do know that.
I'm not sure.
I hate it.
What should I call you? A leader?
Artie.
A guru?
Oh, no. Okay. Anyway, so you are the manager of the chat. Okay.
Yes.
So you say you're responsible to get the stuff sorted out and done, to get stuff done. So for that, I need to shut up and wait for you to finish sending me all the messages, right? How do I know when I should be acting?
Well, in WhatsApp, you can see easily when someone else is typing a message. It actually shows you. And I am typing a message all the time when I'm replying to 20 messages.
Gotcha. Let's try that.
And second of all, I mean, it's quite obvious when you send me 20 messages to reply to, and I only reply to 2 of them, right? Like, you can understand that it's not all of them I reply to. It's a bit obvious.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That makes sense. I just accept that. No comment, man.
Sure.
I'd accept that. That sounds good. Sounds efficient. Why not?
That's all right. I didn't expect that.
What did you expect?
I don't know. Not that. I expected nothing, but not that.
Okay, sure. Lowering the expectations is always good. And you're pleasantly surprised.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Next point?
Actually, okay. Next one. Third step.
Third.
Yes, third. Which is actually also kind of on topic of the last 2 ones. Is that this is actually more common nowadays that happens. Is that whenever there is at least like freaking 2 messages or more that I reply to, you kind of give up replying to them in chat and ask me to have a call instead. Which your reasoning to it is that it saves time to like quickly cover all the topics, right?
Yep.
But from my point of view, it usually takes much longer than just messages. Like it doesn't take like 5 minutes, as you sometimes say. It actually takes like 15 minutes to cover a topic.
Yeah.
More, and also, calls are very how to say it, intrusive, I guess. It's not like chill. Like in a call, I need to like have full attention on you.
Disruptive?
Like,
Do you mean disruptive?
Disruptive, yeah, that would be a good word. It's very disruptive on the workflow. Like in chat, it's easy. Like you got a message, you just quickly type a response. Like you don't even need 10 words most of the time, and then you can just continue on what the fuck you were doing before. Like, but calls, which are also most of the times surprise because they're not planned from my side. It's for you. Like you suggest them. They require all of my attention.
Yeah.
And they actually drain me pretty hard of energy because I prefer chats. I'm introverted, let's say.
Yeah. I'm introverted myself, by the way. I got your point. Okay, so let's break it down. So we have 2 points, right? We have one point is that it's disruptive of the flow, so it takes the flow out of you, right? And the second one is that the call actually potentially taking more time than the messaging. Is that so?
Yep.
So that's the 2 points.
Those 2 points, and yeah.
Okay.
And also that it drains me more.
Sorry, say again?
And also that it drains me more than just chatting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. But it's related to the first 2. I mean, even to the one that is disruptive, right? So if it wouldn't be disruptive, probably a different one. So okay. So let me comment about those 2. So when it comes to the time it takes on a call versus a message, so would you agree with me that there is a tendency that I would ask you for a call instead of a message on topics that tend to be more complex to discuss anyway, like they are more prone to ping-ponging and back and forth and follow-ups and follow-ups and follow-ups. Would you agree with me on that?
Nope. Because it's not about that. It's just, if there are many topics to cover, you want to call. It doesn't matter if they're long topics, if they're short topics. And I know that they're usually short topics, especially when in a call I need to kind of recount for you what the fuck is the topic, like from the start, which needs me to also like read messages and stuff to actually explain you properly, because it's not just my head I need to explain for you, like properly. You don't know maybe many of the points in the topic. All in all, it just takes longer to get through the topic in a call than in a chat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see that. Though I would say that from my side, when I am reading that, so if in a call you explain some topic to me, it means that in a chat I will need to spend time to understand it anyway. So that's kind of effort that is hidden from your vision when you're chatting with me, because you don't see the time it takes me to read things, right? So you just see my response, really.
Not exactly true, since in chat you have, in WhatsApp specifically, you have the built-in chat history that you can just like reply. When you reply to a message with another message, it shows you the previous message. You can just check the previous message. At least for me,
but it still takes time.
But let me finish. At least for me, even if the topic is kind of cold by that point, just reading the previous message heats it up pretty well. I don't need to read the whole thread. Just one message is enough.
Makes sense. So let's try the next one. So to be able to find a good solution to that, I believe that a good first step would be to actually, following this discussion that we have now and following the conclusions from this discussion. So we are raising awareness now, right? You're raising my awareness in particular. So now I have a bit higher awareness, you have a bit higher awareness. And now the next time we get to such a situation, we can actually see the situation better, because we can understand it better, because we're just more aware of it, right? And then we can take a look at the smaller details that we're currently missing out on. Okay, so I believe that this is something we need to. So the key takeaway would be to keep that in the awareness, and then actually finding the root problems of why stuff get longer than they should have been. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does actually.
Okay. And the second point you said is that it's depleting, right? It's so not depleting, it's disrupting.
Disruptive, yeah.
Yes, so it's disruptive. I respect that. I understand that you have a flow, you are doing some tasks, you are focused on something, and then you write me a message and I'm like, hey, let's speak about it, and then you just drop everything and you're back from the call and you're like, how the fuck do I proceed from here? I lost it all. Is that so?
Yeah. Even though I have still, I didn't close, but if I have a task and I am doing like in tabs, for example, in a sheet, even though I didn't close the sheet, I still kind of am lost, like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, what is the plan? What was I supposed to do after that? And
exactly. I mean, you're flushed, right? Your mind is just flushed after that. It's like returning. It's like keeping your PC on but then going to sleep and then getting back after 8 hours or 9 hours or whatever, and you're just like, what's that? Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
I understand that, and I have those moments myself as well, but typically I'm the one who disrupts and not the one who gets disrupted, because when I am accountable on some topic and I need reports from people, or I need to know the status of people, or I am the one who spends less time on the operation of an activity, right?
Okay.
That means that I'm mainly doing the communication and not the creation. So there's the communication and there's the creation. Okay? Creation is essentially, it's called maker time. And the communication is just managerial work. Now we can call it communication time. But because of the nature of my role, I spend most of my time managing and not creating. Besides those time blocks which I'm actually creating. Like, for example, right now we are creating, both of us we're creating. Even though we're communicating, this is creation.
Yeah.
No, I'm fully focused right now. I have do not disturb on all my devices. Nobody speaks with me right now. I don't care how many messages I have in WhatsApp. I don't have notifications and nothing. No, we are creating content right now. And also, I'm having a communication with you and we're solving work problems, which is awesome. It's an awesome combination, right? But in general, that's maker time. So we're fully in the flow right now. The solution is having the maker time and the communication time separate. So not mixing them, not having the communication while you do the making, but actually separating those, okay? There is no ideal setup for that, typically.
Yeah.
Because, well, we create and then we need to communicate something, or we need to status update from someone, clarification, so we can actually keep creating, right? So, what I would say is that since most of my days are managerial time, or micro creation, but not like binging creation. So due to that, I have less of a problem with people actually wanting to have a call with me than you probably would have if I come to you and I say, let's have a call. Because I probably interrupt you in your maker time. But if you're telling me, hey, Artie, let's have a call, the probability of you interrupting me is pretty low.
Yeah.
You see? Otherwise, I would just not reply to you. I would just not reply. If I'm doing my maker time, I will just reply with a delay when I'm out of the maker time. You see? Unless you call me. And even then, no, depends. Like, I wouldn't hear that now if someone calls me. So, with that being said, I suppose if I propose a call, and I will still propose calls on some topics, regardless, right? Then you feel free. You should feel much more freer to propose to say I can't now, or like later. You know?
Yeah.
I would rather you actually tell me if it's not today. Like, so later would be today, but you can say like next other day. Okay. So I wouldn't interrupt you this way. So you keep your maker time, and then you initiate the call prompt. But I would ask you to actually take accountability on making it happen and not just using it. You won't. I trust you. You won't use it as an excuse to postpone stuff, to procrastinate or something. You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Since I don't like surprises, especially like when you propose a meeting, because I by default have a day planned out. Well, most of it, like what I'm gonna do today. For example, today I already knew that we're most likely gonna have a chat, this call. And also I have still to do one task that I won't mention. And yeah, And if someone else now surprisingly called me in my phone, I would be pissed probably. Because I don't like surprises.
Yeah.
No, not those kinds of surprises.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you.
Okay. Yep.
You do you.
Yep.
Let's get to the next one.
So, yep.
Will it be the fourth one?
This will be fourth one, yeah. And
Okay.
the last two points are more about you than work related that I noticed.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, okay, the fourth one, which is on point with calls as well. So, like during the calls, I mentioned that the calls usually take longer than just chatting. There are actually two ways that happens. One of them is that we just talked about, that we don't correctly assess how long is gonna take to actually have a call. Second one is that you tend to freaking talk my ears off all the time about topics. Like, I don't know how to say it, but sometimes I just doze off and I just listen to you and I'm like, yeah, I get it, yeah, and I don't actually really listen to you. It happens because you just go on and on and on. Like, I cannot shut you off. If I would, it would be kind of impolite. But yeah, you just go and on and on and on.
I would prefer you actually telling me that. I mean,
Really?
I wouldn't take it personally.
Really?
No, when I'm talking,
I should.
I'm not talking for myself. I'm talking to deliver a point, right? And communication is not defined by talking. Like what I'm saying, the communication is defined by what the listener gets from it, right? It doesn't matter how much I say and how I say it. It doesn't matter as much as how much from it you actually understand and take away from it. See, so me as a communicator, it's my responsibility to convey as much comprehensible meaning to you as possible in a period of time. So if I can give you more meaning per minute of talking, whatever, and you actually comprehending that meaning, that's not just theoretical meaning. It's meaning that you actually understand and you actually can act upon it. It means that it's a measure of my success as a communicator. And not speaking about communicator as a role. It's just, it's a hat. You are also a communicator, and everyone is a communicator. That's communication, right? So I don't need to talk to whatever to feel good about myself or something. No, I feel good about you understanding and taking away something from what I actually say. Otherwise, it's just a waste of your time and a waste of my time. You see?
Yeah.
So I will not take it personally. And I also understand that human attention span is limited. And I also, I personally tend to speak more than necessary a lot of times. Because I find it super important to actually convey the meaning that I would like the listener to understand. I don't like misunderstandings. Like I want to prevent misunderstandings as much as possible.
I understand that, but you tend, like, let me introduce a bit. You tend to over-explain stuff. For example, for me, I understand. You want to make sure that I understand stuff, but you talk about the same stuff too much sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
I understand that.
I already got it from maybe first or second explanation point, maybe, but you kind of go to third, to fourth, and maybe to fifth, and then maybe we go off topic somehow.
Yeah, I accept that.
You just
I'm aware. I'm aware of that. And thank you. By the way, you're one of the people who are to thank for me for my awareness of that. My wife also tells me that. So also I'm listening to that. Yeah, I'm working on it, and I wouldn't say experimenting. I don't measure it, but I'm trying to speak less and trust the interlocutor to actually do the thinking more than I'm used to so far. I mean, it's kind of being in a sense, being a control freak to try to kind of take control of the understandings of the person, not let the person think, but kind of, do all the necessary steps for that person to 100% get everything. So I don't want it to be this way. I'm used to that. I'm working. I need to lower it.
Yeah, I just had a thought about it. I mean, there's probably some kind of reason you're like this. So I have a question.
Sure.
Do you often have contact, communicate with someone that needs this many explanations? Or
I've had a lot. Yeah. I've had a lot in my life. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so maybe it's just that, you got kind of experience.
It's for sure traumatic. It is for sure. I mean, it's a learned behavior for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. The problem though is that it's it's like bureaucracy in some sense. In bureaucracy, if you go to a governmental agency, whatever, and they want you to fill some paper, it has so many points to that, so many fields, and you're like, what the fuck? They ask you, do you own oil fields, like oil mining fields? No, no. Can you give me the reduced paper or something? So bureaucratization happens when they meet a problem and then they're like, okay, so we are gonna face that problem by introducing a new field, and each time it's a new field and another one, it just becomes endless. So it's kind of similar to our topic here. Because I see the person didn't understand that, so next time I need to explain that as well. Oh, and that as well. Oh, and that as well. So I tend to over-explain because of that and give more examples and stuff like that. So it's just to prevent miscommunications. But the problem is that the price of it is that it's so long that the person already loses attention. So the person stops understanding you, not because you're unclear, it's because you just speak too much, whatever. That's what happens to me. Yeah. I mean, I am the sinner here.
And actually, as an example, towards the government papers, when I get a tax for, I think it is electricity, specifically electricity tax, there is a field for fees for court expenses. There is all the times there is that field, so it makes me think that a lot of people kind of go in court with the electricity provider, that they actually included that field into just it was funny the first time I noticed it, but
it's enough that even 1 in 10,000 would do that, maybe 1 in 100,000. It's enough for them sometimes to include that. Sometimes. Yeah, okay. Thank you for the point, man. What's the fifth one?
The fifth one. The fifth one is about discussions that we have in workspace most of the time that include you. It is actually more common, this problem is more common nowadays than it was a year ago or 2 years ago. It's getting more and more common actually. I assume it's from expansion of Game Ready. Is that especially the discussions that even you start with us, like me and some other coworkers, is that if I start to criticize your points in the discussion, you tend to, at some point, it's almost guaranteed that you're gonna be like, I don't have time, so I am right and you were wrong, so let's stop it here and shut up and fuck off or something.
Yeah, well, not in those words, right? To be fair,
It's the essence of it. Yeah.
the essence, yeah, the essence. I wouldn't lie about that.
Yeah.
I confirm. I confess. That's often the meaning. But I mean,
Yeah.
wait. So go on.
Even if, at least from my point of view, the points that I make are actually valid,
Of course.
I always assume that I do actually not know everything, but it's just annoying that it gets cut off like this. Like even if it kind of makes sense, but it's just what the fuck,
Yeah.
It feels like I wasted time. It feels like I'm nagging or something like that. It gets me that feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see. Okay, interesting. So we have two things here. So one is my behavior, right? So how I decide the actual reason behind why I do that, right? That's one. And the second one is that you're feeling that you are nagging or something. So you feel negative because of that, right? And you don't want to be disruptive, so you feel like you're disrupting because if I tell you to shut up, for example, I don't tell you to shut up, but if theoretically I tell you to shut up, then you're like, I don't imply that.
Yes, you do.
No,
yes,
not to shut up. No, I'll tell you what I do imply though. Will you? Okay, so
Sure.
a bit of a background. Okay, so how I operate in that sense and why I do that. So the more communications there are in the company, the more I need to spread myself out on those topics, right? I need to do more communication. So I need the communication to be shorter in each topic, otherwise I will not be able to communicate, right? So with that being said, something that I learned in the past 2 or so years is to prioritize action a bit higher than I have been doing it so far. So I have been prioritizing communication a lot and planning and maybe even over planning before the action. I act faster now, and I want all of us to act slightly faster, mostly. Okay, so on average, sometimes there are some discussions in which we really need to take our time and to clear everything. But in some topics, it's just getting to the point of we as a company, not you, Katie, we as a company spend too much time discussing such a point. So we need to get acting, and it's fine if we mess up. It's fine if we do mistakes. But we will learn from those mistakes and we will improve that and we will act better the next time. So if it's a mitigatable mistake, it's not something grave. Okay, nobody dies from it. So because it's mitigatable, the mistake chance of happening, the chance of the mistake to happen is not as bad as it may sound at first. But the communication, the extra communication time, this is a measurable damage. Or I would say cost, not damage, but cost. Okay, that's a cost we pay. So it's a fixed cost that we do for an opportunity to potentially save ourselves some headache from some mistakes. So sometimes the point is that the fixed price of the communication that we pay for it is actually higher than the mistake that would happen. It's more impactful. So I want to reduce that, and I want us to act faster, because speed is also important, by the way. So sometimes it's better to have something done speedily, but well, okay. to get something done in a sloppy way, but fast, then ideal, but slow. See?
It makes
So
sense.
because of that,
you mentioned sometimes, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
You mentioned that sometimes it's better to do that, right?
Mostly.
But
80% of times. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, that's, it's a balance. It's a balance, and I speak about, when I say mostly, what I mean is that so far, if we measure the topics that we have had so far in the communication throughout the history of GameReady, we tend to overplan. That's what I mean. I don't speak that most of the tasks should be rushed. No, they're not. If we compare it to what we have been doing so far, we need to be faster to act. That's what I mean.
all right.
And I would add another point, but did you want to say something?
You continue. I'll add it after.
Okay. Thank you. So, my other point is that not only us as a company, but also me as a person, my time is so limited that I need to prioritize my maker time a bit more. And when I'm doing the communication, that's my communication time, as we spoke in the previous points, right? But I need to be doing some more maker time. And if I keep discussing, the problem is that I don't discuss just with one person. I discuss with many people and on different topics, and many group chats or whatever that you don't even know about those topics because you're not part of those projects specifically, right? But I am. So if I don't reduce my communication time on each one of those, I don't have maker time. And then I'm only communicating. I'm not actually producing something, I can't drive an initiative forward this way, but I need to. So I need to cut on the communication. And the price of it is, unfortunately, that I need to pay less attention to some topics. Or pay less attention to, not attention, but let's say discussing less. And if I have I don't have the luxury to hear the opinions of everybody. I can't. I don't have time for that.
All right.
Unfortunately, that's the price. I just have to pay that.
Okay, so with that in mind, if I still see a problem with some discussion, what do you do about that problem that I see? If we still stop the discussion and proceed with actually doing the thing, what do I do if I see a problem?
Okay, good. That's a great question. That's a great one. So, the first actionable advice I can give you on that is ask yourself a question. If you don't yet, ask yourself this question. What's the worst case scenario? Okay, so if the mistake happens, or if we do the mistake, okay, if it will go wrong, what is it so harsh? Okay, what will be the damage?
Okay.
And you can compare it to the cost of spending extra time on communicating, arguing, convincing, because we're people in the company, right? And if there's a project which has a teamwork and it needs convincing, that's part of the communication, right? Convincing. So convincing, arguing, then preparing for the solution, the actual solution, right? So all that, those are the fixed costs that will happen no matter what. Right? I mean, if you choose to push forward the solution, which might be legit, okay? Like maybe you're not missing any point. Maybe like you think, okay, so there is a potential of that problem, but I need to check it first, whatever, right? And then you check it and you see, yeah, I was right. Okay. What's the cost of all that investigation and the implementation for the prevention of the problem, right? The potential problem versus the actual outcome of the actual problem, if it happens. So sometimes the first wins, sometimes the second wins. There's no set in stone answer. It's case sensitive, right? Depends on the case. But asking this question, just being aware that there is cost to both of those, then you can actually weigh better what you should prioritize. And by definition, sorry that I interrupted, by definition, it also means that sometimes it's worth pursuing that. And worth saying, hey, it takes more time, we need to discuss it more, yeah, that's the cost, but I really believe that it's important enough. And then your argument is even stronger. And you're even more convincing this way. I'm not speaking about politics. I'm not speaking about convincing as in, speaking to the hearts of people. I'm speaking objective convincing objective. It's scientifically, pretty much. Like you have more evidence.
Yeah. Also, I'm not exactly convinced about the comparison between how much time it takes to investigate versus the damage of the potential problem. Because if there is a damage, right, then you also need to investigate that damage, how did it happen.
Sure. That's part of the damage.
It's always like that. So
yes, but that's only if the damage actually happens. So yeah. That's a potential problem with a potential damage versus fixed damage, which is just, okay, the cost. Okay, the price is for sure, that's guaranteed for a problem that may happen. See?
Yeah, makes sense. So, quick question.
Yeah.
If the problem is guaranteed to happen, assume that it's guaranteed to happen, and we don't know that it's guaranteed to happen, but objectively, I guess, think about it. Which would be the better option? To investigate or to proceed with?
Depends on the case.
It's probably going to be always to actually investigate, right?
Depends on the case.
When it happens, yeah, but as I mentioned before, like when a problem happens, you need to investigate what happened, right? So there is always that cost of investigation anyway.
If it happens. No, if the problem happens, then there's the guaranteed investigation cost, yeah.
Yeah. So if you compare like these two events between problem happening and investigation, it's always probably better to investigate, right? If the problem is guaranteed to happen.
Yes. More likely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But take in mind also that if you're actually potentially missing some information, if you're aware that you're potentially missing some information, it also means that what is quote-unquote guaranteed to happen, the damage that is guaranteed to happen, maybe it's not so guaranteed. Maybe that's an illusion of guarantee. You see? But anyway, I'm not trying to convince you to disregard topics or always regard them. It's common sense. It's just the advice. Yes, it's per situation, and the advice is actually asking yourself the question so you will be more aware of both sides. Being aware of the costs. That's really that's what it is. If I wouldn't be aware of the costs, I would just be discussing everything. I like that. I like brainstorming. I like hearing opinions of people. It's just ineffective if you overdo that.
Okay.
Ineffective in a sense that it's you can do better stuff in that time. To achieve more. Yeah, I believe that's the one advice I would give. I don't have any out of the box right now, but I think that's a good start because the next time it happens, because again the awareness is higher, we can speak about it deeper and have the next action point with that. So it's a multi-step solution to the roasting you gave me. How about that?
All right, sure. Okay, and it was 5 steps, right? And I have one extra.
Oh, bonus round.
Yes, one extra.
Is it the boss round or just a small bonus?
No. It's like after you get the loot, you have this one goblin that you can test your damage on. It's that step.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, it's a small step. So you tend to also I assume because you want to save time, you tend to forward a lot of topics from you when you talk to someone else, like another employee, to me. Like you say to them that talk to Geddy will help.
Yeah, because I trust you.
From my point of view, it's like, what the fuck is this topic? I don't know anything about it, and I need to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I get confused a lot of times, and I'm not sure if that is expected, or do you actually think that I know all these topics?
No, that's perfectly expected. No. It's perfect. I mean, I know that you guys will figure it out.
Really? Right.
Yeah.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, I can spend time on actually explain to you. So, I have been talking to this dude, and he is confusing that, and could you please help him to understand that, and here's the link, and here's the blah 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 blah. Yeah, I could spend time doing that, and then you would be, it would avoid confusion on your part. Yeah, I could do that. I don't have the luxury to do that. I don't have the time for that, unfortunately. So I just say, okay, hey, go to Geddy, please. And it's their responsibility to tell you what they are confused with, and if they didn't do that, then you can ask them, hey, what's the thing you need help with? So what's the actual problem? See,
yeah.
you will figure it out. I mean, if I would be temporarily dead, okay, temporarily dead for a year or so, you would find a way. I trust you. I know that you would find a way. Not just you, but in general, the team. Okay, I don't want to be a control freak. I want to be focusing more on my creative time, right? So I can, again, my maker time. And because of that, I need to cut off on the communication. Like, hey, Geddy, that's to him, or that's to Vojta, or that's to Alex, whatever.
Yeah. All right. I mean, it's clear then that if you expect that it's not gonna be as fluid or as clean as
I know that it won't be. I know that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And that's it, I guess. I don't have any more points.
Thank you. Would you have more for episode 2, though?
I mean, maybe. I have more deeper points.
Deeper points. Shit. That's 1 point per video, then.
Yes.
Thank you, man. Thank you for roasting me.
No problem.
I'm on fire.
From my point of view, I see your face like a ghost from behind you. I don't know.
Is it also criticism? Is it also a point that you dislike about me? Woo!
No, it's actually it's a compliment.
Compliment. Sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, dude. Was fun and insightful. I believe that both of us they took away some points to act upon, even not just think about, but also to act upon. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, actually,
nice
more. I would say most of them I actually understand more. Like,
nice.
Legit.
Nice. Action points are best. I would say that action points are the most important. Maybe maybe it's one of the most important lessons that I have learned in the past year or so, is to not just to actually call it action points, or actionable advice, right? And to not just hope that it will happen throughout the meeting or the conversation, but actually to define it as a standard process of the communication. And then it's not just like, we've had a talk, it was fun and insightful and blah, 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 but what the fuck do I do right now? No, it's like, I actually have something I can implement. I have some advice that I can implement, right? Or there's an action that I can do. Or I know better for the next time something happens, whatever. More prepared, in general.
Yeah.
I like it.
More prepared, and you have more of an idea of context about the whole thing, right?
Yeah, that's right. Giddy, thank you very much.
No problem.
See ya.
See ya.
That's a good guy, I tell you that. Thank you so much for watching, and please do let me know in the comments if you like this piece of content and if you would like me to do more of that, as well as if you have some ideas for some better topics I can cover. Any help that you need from me, just ping me up. If it's a small business problem, I'm helping you out for free. So, take care. Subscribe, by the way.